You ever have a day where your whole life blows up before you've even finished your morning coffee? Because let me tell you, nothing really prepares you for the sight of your own stolen Mustang wrapped around your fence. Your fence, while the HOA president is screaming about property values and her drunk son is wobbling out of the driver's seat like he's auditioning for America's Dumbest Criminals. That's how my Saturday started. And for the record, I still don't know whether to laugh, cry, or just call a lawyer and bill them all by the hour because this story right here, it's got more twists than a season finale. I remember the taste of metal in my mouth. Hands shaking so bad I could barely hold my phone, neighbors filming from behind their garden gnomes. And there's Meredith Clay, HOA royalty herself, lecturing me about community harmony, as if I staged this whole wreck just to mess up her little suburban kingdom. I wanted to scream, but instead I did what any half-sane person does these days. I started recording. Noise meter app earphones and sound waves popping red like my pulse, just a regular day in the HOA apocalypse. See, I'm not a tech wizard, but I know my way around an app or two. So while Meredith's ranting, I'm logging decibels and documenting damage. My throat's dry, my words half stuck. Maybe adrenaline, maybe just straight up rage. My Mustang, 3 years of weekends spent restoring that car, all those busted knuckles and greasy pizza dinners was now crumpled against my own fence, chrome bumper, twisted headlight hanging by a wire gas and something sharper leaking underneath. My driveway didn't feel like home anymore. It felt like an autopsy table. And then Colton, her son, stumbles out. The smell of alcohol practically knocks me over. Kids got that swagger that comes from never facing real consequences in your life. He looks me dead in the eye and says, "That car doesn't fit this neighborhood's vibe, and that color looks too ghetto." Yeah, he really said that. I about lost it, except I just let my podcast instincts take over, hit record on everything. My old man always said document first, react second. Smart man. But it gets better. I pull up my sound chart app, watching the frequency spikes from the engine right before the crash. No sign of brake failure, no sign of accident. This wasn't a mistake. This was deliberate. My Mustang totaled. My fence splintered. And Colton's live streaming it to his friends like he just landed a sponsor deal for stupidity. I spot something glinting on the seat. Turns out it's an HOA violation notice with my name printed on it. Excessive noise complaint signed by someone I'd never met, but whose authority I'd been feeling in my mailbox for months. Suddenly the pieces start clicking into place. This wasn't just some random night gone wrong. This was planned, coordinated. Gasoline mixed with conspiracy in the afternoon sun, my head spinning with all the implications. And then just to spice things up, here comes Helen from next door, former postal supervisor, sharp as a tack. She's waving me over, eyes wide, pointing at the ground where gas is pooling. That leak could blow the whole block, she hisses. And now my hands are ice cold despite the sun beating down. Enter Deputy Ortega, calm, steady. Everything you want in a sheriff on a day like this. He's collecting statements, grabbing audio from the license plate reader at the gate, doing the job Meredith and her crowd pretend is community safety. Colton tries to charm the deputy, says, "Officer, this is just a misunderstanding. My mom's the HOA president. We're maintaining guidelines for everyone's benefit." But Ortega's face stays stone cold. I find myself liking him more by the minute. Now here's where my engineer's brain kicks in. The impact pattern, the skid marks, the angle of collision, all of it tells a story. This was no accident. This was destruction, plain and simple. Helen hands me an envelope. Third noise complaint this month, all carefully date-stamped, all part of a paper trail the HOA's been building against me. Suddenly, I see it a system, not just a grudge. I check my GPS tracker shows the car leaving my driveway at 2:47 p.m., driving in circles for 23 minutes, then taking a straight line right into my fence. Deliberate. "This is felony auto theft," Ortega says, eyes serious. "Doesn't matter who your mom is." Now Colton's face goes white, realizing maybe his last name won't save him this time. And while all this is going down, the gas smell is getting worse. Helen's pointing out that the wall the HOA built last year might have crushed a utility line. Ortega pulls out a gas detector and it starts wailing. We're not talking inconvenience, now we're talking neighborhood-wide evacuation. So the gas company shows up, starts cordoning off the street. Turns out Meredith's wall violates 3 safety codes and was built right over a major distribution line. Felony level stuff. Now she's in my face blaming me for bringing in outside inspectors, saying I'm ruining the neighborhood by not handling a simple teenage mistake with appropriate discretion. The audacity, right? But it doesn't stop there. Insurance cancels her policy pending fraud investigation. Helen brings over a USB stick, piles of paperwork, fraudulent permits, fake inspection stamps, permits showing setbacks that don't match reality. This isn't just bad management. This is criminal, the kind that gets board members sent to federal prison. And the human cost, Mrs. Patterson's husband can't use his oxygen machine in a hotel. The Martinez family gets fined for holiday decorations. The Johnsons get noise violations as soon as their son makes varsity. Meanwhile, other families, ones who look more like Meredith, never get a single letter. I map it out. Compare penalty records. The pattern is obvious. Minorities, renters, different families get targeted while the HOA's friends get a free pass. The kicker. A municipal clerk named Sarah meets me at a coffee shop, hands me proof the HOA's been faking insurance documents for years. Which means with a 67% vote, we can dissolve the whole thing, no board consent needed. When word gets out, Meredith starts offering families cash to stay quiet. But people have had enough. The community bands together, signatures start pouring in. Even the folks who were scared before are ready to fight back. Election day. The library's packed, old folks, kids, families who'd never spoken before, all lining up to vote. When the final count comes in, over 70% vote to dissolve. The room erupts. Meredith's authority evaporates in a single afternoon. But the story doesn't end there. The DA brings federal charges, insurance fraud, code violations, civil rights abuse. Meredith pleads out to avoid prison, loses her house, pays restitution, banned from HOA boards forever. Colton gets 200 hours of community service, restoring cars with neighborhood kids, learning from the same hands-on work he once mocked. And me, I rebuilt my fence, got my Mustang back from the shop, and watched as the whole neighborhood transformed, kids playing in the yard, families flying whatever flag they want. Music in every language. No more HOA rules about what you can or can't celebrate. Just basic respect. Helen organized a block party where her wall used to stand, neighbors sharing food and stories instead of complaint letters. Sometimes you got to tear down a wall before you can build something real, you know. So here's my question. If you were in my shoes, would you fight back or play it safe? Is it worth it to challenge authority when you know the system is stacked? Drop your story in the comments. Let me know how you'd handle it. And if you like this one, hit that thanks button, share it with a neighbor, and keep your own frequency steady. Because sometimes justice sounds a whole lot like music drifting through an open window on a summer night.